2013, the chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Rohrabacher, for 30 minutes.
Thank you very much. In the words of my former boss, President Reagan, well, here we go again. Well, over the last 25 years, I and a small band of who just refuse to go along and get along types here in Congress have engaged in a constant fight to maintain the intellectual property of American inventors. The intellectual property rights of our inventors is something that has been a great treasure to our country. Our founding fathers so strongly that with technology and freedom, and yes, with the profit motive, that was the formula that would uplift humankind, and they believed in it so much that they wrote that into our Constitution. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the Constitution. The Congress shall have power to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. Well, this provision in the Constitution, I might add, it's the only place in the Constitution, the body of the Constitution, where the word right is used. The Bill of Rights comes in during the amendment process of the Constitution, but our founding fathers thought so highly of technology and technology advancement, the right of inventors was included in the body of the Constitution. And this provision has served America well. It's led to general prosperity that we would not have had otherwise. It's led to national security, where we faced foes that outnumbered us so heavily, but we relied heavily relied upon were the technologies that were developed to help our armed forces defend themselves and thus defend the country. And of course, this has served us well because the technology and the freedom we have has created a society where ordinary people, decent people, can live very fruitful lives and can enjoy the fruits of their labor. Americans work hard, and this wasn't just created by hard work. That's the important thing to remember. Without hardworking Americans, it wouldn't have worked. But it was the technology that they used that made the difference. People work hard all over the world. They work long hours, and they live in poverty and deprivation. But we coupled the hard work of our people with technology, and what we've had is a success that has uplifted the common man and served as a light of hope for all of human beings, that we can produce the wealth needed for regular people to live decent lives. So that is the secret of America's success. Technology and freedom, and yes, perhaps we could include the right values. But it was our strong patent system and a respect for law that made the difference in that technology and freedom. Yet today, multinational corporations run by Americans want to diminish patent protection in the United States. We have had the strongest patent protection of any country of the world. Yet we have had, for these last 25 years, major efforts to diminish the patent protection that we have and to, harmonize it with the rest of the world. And it just happens that the European and Japanese patent systems are much weaker and offer less protection for the inventors. Well, over the years, we've had to fight back and turn back efforts to weaken the patent system a number of times, and I have been part of that effort and part of that struggle. I remember when they were demanding, for example, and they had a bill, it was so blatant, and we defeated it, called, they publish a patent, American Published Patent Act or something like that. And what it was saying was that before, it was the Patent Publication Act, that was it. And they said, after 18 months, if someone has filed for a patent, even if he wasn't going to get his patent, they were going to publish his patent application, meaning all the secrets should be out in the world. They tried to push that over on us. We just barely defeated that, but we defeated it with a bipartisan effort led by Marcy Kaptur and myself, Tom Campbell and others at that time. Then there was the effort, of course, to say that as soon as one files for a patent application, after 20 months, the ticking of the clock starts, and you could end up then with maybe 5 years of patent protection by the time it was issued. Here, we had always said 17 years after you are given the patent, you then lose control, but you have 17 years where you own your patent. They tried to change that, could have changed it in a way that somebody, if it took the patent office 15 years or 10 years to develop a concept of a new idea and to figure out how to patent it, well, then that person would only have 2 years left. These were the ways that they were trying to destroy the patent rights that our people have enjoyed. And sometimes we turn those rights, we turn those efforts back. Other times we had to compromise. And other times, like last time around, we lost. For example, we changed the fundamental law over our objection. This body changed the fundamental principle that patents were to be given to the first to invent. Someone has invented it, they should be given the patent. That's been the fundamental guiding post ever since our country was founded. We changed that last year. We changed that to say not first to invent, but the first person who files for the patent. Of course, in an age when you have people who are able to sneak in on your computers and there's hackers around, that could turn out to be a catastrophe. And already we can hear rumblings of that from China, where patents are being churned out and patent applications are being put in. And yes, if they can prove they were the first one, and even if they maybe found out about it some other and can't explain it, no, they get the patent over the people who've done the work. Well, once again, I find myself fighting for the small inventors and struggling to defend the patent rights of these people to own and control their own invention. And what we've got now is a bill that has been introduced and that is just making its way. There will be a hearing on it tomorrow in the Judiciary Committee. Now, there's always been an excuse to change the fundamentals of the way our system works, because we've had the strongest patent system in the world, and they've always tried to find some excuse of changing it. And there's some sinister force at play that demands that we change the fundamentals of our patent system. Well, we've heard it before. For example, they claimed that it were submarine patents. That's a derogatory term. Oh, a submarine patent. That must be undercover or something suspicious about that. Well, they use that as an excuse to try to limit the time people owned their patent. They use that as an excuse to publish everybody's patent application even before it was issued. Well, this time the new word, the new buggy-boo that they're talking about is, and the scary word for the day is patent troll. Patent troll is being used as a word, and they probably hired a very sophisticated public relations company to come up with that patent troll term. They're being used to fundamentally change our patent system again in order to diminish and damage the rights of small inventors. Well, they can't say that's their purpose, so they have to come up with a scary word like patent troll. These so-called patent trolls are patent holders or companies which represent patent holders, meaning people who own patents. They are engaged in defending the rights of those patents that they own. They either they purchase these patents or their companies purchase these patents basically from small inventors who didn't have the resources to defend and to enforce their own patent rights. These small inventors are now the partners of some of these companies or some of these individual investors. But it comes down to this. The inventor or the investor owns those patents. If you buy a piece of land or a patent from someone, you have that right. These patents that they own are just like any other patent granted by the patent office. But huge corporate infringers would have us believe that these patents are in some way unfair or evil. So what makes these patents different than the good patents that these very same corporations own? There are no differences. They are the same patents, the same kind of patents. Some of these multinational corporations have bought patents from small inventors. They own that.